Yes, please.
So, birthday puja in Calcutta, and the talk is in Hindi. And I was just listening to it yesterday, and that's come to my attention quite a few times. And she said exactly the same thing. Ke, we're thinking of setting up a place where Sahaja Yogis can come for like a month or something like that, and be educated in all Sahaj, not just techniques, the insight part of it, so that they become experts and then they can go anywhere in the world and become the instruments to spread the divinity. And the point which Avdhut referred to, that we have to go to our divinity. And I shared that with some people like 2, 3 years ago, and they were like horrified. It's like you're saying something terrible. And I said, no, but unless we go to our own divinity and we become that, how can you become one with the divine? It's not possible. It's not possible. And then just two other references. In 1984, in Easter Puja, Shimaji talked about the penance in Sahaja Yoga. But again, it is something which has to be practiced. It's not something I know about it. So she talked about being prayatan shila, means without any effort. Then the second part of it was vicharashil, without any thought. And she was like, you should be able to watch your thoughts. The third one she said was vishay shilta, that you don't get stuck on anything. And then from there she went to the generosity and as well as the uh, becoming the peace inside yourself. So these things which she said, and I think all of us listen to it, but what it is a counseling session that this needs to manifest in us. Now, if, as he's talking about it, that there are 4 people who are doing this or 5 people who are doing this, now just magnify it. Supposing there's suddenly not 20 people doing it. Now there's 100 people doing it. Can you imagine what's going into the atmosphere? Do you think the world will change or not? But that's our responsibility, and that's something we have to do. Not that I'm talking about Sahaja Yoga and I'm doing Sahaja Yoga. I'm becoming a Sahaja Yogi. And then I'm just becoming this instrument of the divine. I'm totally your servant, Shimaji, but I'm also your instrument, and you play the instrument the way, whichever way you want. And then in 1984, Sahasrara Puja, she said the first era of Sahaja Yoga is over. That was the raising of Kundalini, creating your dome. The second era has started where the compassion of all the deities on every chakra have to manifest. So those are the things, for example, when we're talking about a Shabir or a seminar, those are the things which we should be sitting down and collectively putting attention to. And then the divine, that means Shimaji, and the deities will take us to where we need to be. But that should be a thing. It's not, we are here now, let's have the first heaven. And I've told you before also, Shushmita, I've been in Sahaja Yoga now, won't believe it, but today it's exactly 47 years from me,
Oh,
79, 47 years, right?
Wow.
And I did not attend even one Havan with Shivaji, not even one Havan. So she did do Havans when it was needed, but Havan was not like a Hindu thing. Or I told you that I think it was 1980, no, it was 1997. And the leader of India was not Manoj, Arun Goyal. And Shimaji, he called me and said, we'd like to do a Havan before Shimaji comes to Ganapatiphule. Can you ask her? I said, okay, I'm meeting her today. I'm going to Kalpana Didi's house. I'll ask her. And when I asked her, she said, हम कोई आर्य समाजी थोड़ा है. So it is, the focus should be on our becoming on becoming that, not on now we'll do this, now we'll do shoe beating, now we'll do that. That doesn't do anything. Shoe beating, I'm telling you, I went to one seminar and this lady, 2 hours, she's telling the vidhi of doing shoe beating. And I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, it's not such a uh, ritual or, you've got to write a whole book on it. It's very simple, and when one explained it and people like, it's so simple. I said, yes, it's not a whole thing. So coming to the seminar, the idea, and you can hear Shimadi's talk, that when you come to a seminar, this is your opportunity to go deep inside yourself. Find those ways of going inside yourself. Become that. And understand this, when we say saving the world, who's going to save it? It is the divine who's going to save it. But the instrument is us. If you even listen to Shimadi's Easter Puja talk of 1990, where she challenged all of us and she said, so you say, I know Lord Christ and this and that and everything, but does his power work through you? Do you have that intensity of Lord Christ? He had one purpose, that he had to open the Agya Chakra, and he did it. He didn't say that Param Chaitanya is going to come and hang himself. He went through the crucifixion. He did what he had to do, because the Param Chaitanya is the Shakti flowing. He was the instrument. Same way, we are the instruments through which the Shakti of Adishakti has to flow so that this world changes. That is our responsibility. And I think collectively, like for example, what Avdhut talked about is happening in Europe. 4 or 5 people, that's fine. It has to start somewhere. You're not creating a group. You're just having some, like, I won't say minded, like people who have a desire to ascend and who are saying, okay, let's do it. And with this, it'll spread. And with that, it'll grow. That's really what has to happen all over the world, whether it's India, whether it's China, whether it's Europe, whether it's the US. Otherwise, we're just doing another round of thing, and we're just creating a Sahaja Yoga. Like I was mentioning to you, people, these kids have started making these slips, and they write things on it, and they put it before Shimaji, and then they start pulling slips. I'm like, what are you doing? And they were like, oh, all the kids do it. And I said, this is not part of Sahaja Yoga. So I was like, I'm not trying to scold you, but at the same point of time, when you're supposed to go to the divine and the vibrations are supposed to guide you, and you're being lazy, that you don't want to go to that, you was like, okay, we'll just make chits. Don't do those things. Don't do those things. Because tomorrow, we are, say, the first or second generation. By the fifth, sixth generation, God knows what else will come. So as being people who might be part of what you call as the foundation, then sometimes you have to open your mouth and say it. And a lot of time people don't take it well, because, you're kind of going against the grain, or you're not you're the party pooper, as you might call it, right? So you see girls wearing those, those slingy things, and you say, what do you think you're doing? And oh, no, 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 don't say anything. They leave Sahaja Yoga. No, but you can't contaminate Sahaja Yoga. And as Avdhut was telling about his mother, I'm telling you, in the beginning years, there were so many occasions when Shimaji would say, these people cannot come to the puja. And so these days, everybody and Tom, Dick, and Harry comes. My mummy's come from India, so she's coming to the puja. She's not a Sahaja Yogi, but we're going for a puja like you go in India. Satsang ke liye ja rahe. You can't. You don't have those privileges. That deity is sitting over there. So, and it's not being harsh on people, but it's being actually kind to them, because the deities might actually give them a tight slap, because they don't have the right. And also the person who brought them, because you didn't have that authority. ये अनधिकार चेष्टा है. So one has to know those things. Even Ganapatiphule, Avdhut, it used to be almost 7, 8, 10 days. Used to start around 22nd, 23rd, and right before, going to Kalve for New Year's. And it's not that Shamaji would be sitting and giving us a lecture every day, but in the evenings there would be always a music program, or Shamaji would come and be with everybody for many hours. And the focus was again on vibrations. Even when she's talking to us and she's making us laugh, and if you remember, so many times she'd laugh and suddenly she said, "Ha," because her attention was on our Kundalini. And where was our Kundalini? And she was just working on that. So even us, when we are together collectively, we should be our own attention on our Kundalini and then collectively making everybody grow. Because ye abhyas hai. This is the practice of it, with which you strengthen your Kundalini, you strengthen your Sushumna, you strengthen your Sahasrara. I mean, that 1990 talk, Shamaji says, keep raising your Kundalini. Keep raising it all the time. That's the way you'll enlarge your heart. So, what's so difficult about it? I just told some people, I said, yeah, you're doing this. Somebody says, what are you doing? Oh, this is my stretching exercise. Right? This is my stretching exercise. Nobody has to understand. You can't explain it to people because they will never get it. But you do what you have to do, because in us doing it, other people also get benefited because the divine force flows. She knows what is to be done. You don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. She knows what she's doing, and I'm just the instrument through whom she's flowing. And that's all that is relevant. So, Shabir or a seminar should be an occasion. And it should be that every Sahaja Yogi who comes out of that place should be just flowing with vibrations. You've just been dissolved in those vibrations. I'm telling you, when I used to go to Mumbai and I used to go to Dadar to that Sane Guruji, and I wasn't living in Mumbai, but every time I was in Mumbai, every Thursday I would go to Sane Guruji. And when I walked out of Sane Guruji, I was just flowing with vibrations. It was like I'd had a bath. I'd had a bath in vibrations. So, but people haven't
What's this
experienced
place
these.
in Mumbai you were talking about?
Sane Guruji, I'm talking early 80s. I got married in 83, but before that, I went to Mumbai twice as part of work. And so there used to be the meetings at Bhartiya Vidya Bhavan, but then also used to be at Sane Guruji and Dadar. And the vibrations at Dadar were way it was like a puja going on. I'm telling you, people have not experienced in pujas what we have experienced over there. So,
This Sani Guruji, I remember very well. Sorry.
yeah.
I used to go for years together, just a small experience. So one Thursday I was to go, and my mother said, "No, no, don't go this Thursday." And I really argued with her. And she said, "No, no, Avdut, don't go on this Thursday. Next Thursday you can go." So I stayed with her. I worked on her, and next Thursday she wasn't there.
Hmm.
I remember this Sani Guruji very well, very, very well. Yeah, every Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
When I
so
was in Mumbai, I would always go to Sade Guruji.
yes, yes, yes.
Always. It
Shri
was,
Mataji, we also had some quite a number of talks there, and Shri Mataji used to come there. No, it was quite good.
yeah. And this book which Avdhut talked
Yeah, I
about,
can send it to you. It's in
Experiences in
English.
Sahaja
Yes,
Yoga
please.
by Mr. Fadke,
Yes.
I've sent that book to at least a dozen people.
Mm, mm.
It is a fabulous book
Yeah, yeah.
because it starts from the point of Nirvichara.
Mm, mm.
That's where Sahaja Yoga starts.
Hmm.
So all his experience he talks about from there.
So,
Okay.
amazing. So, this book possibly is a PDF, and if it is, if you would be
No,
so
no,
kind,
it's a regular book. It
yeah,
was originally written in
or a
Marathi.
link to the book that we can put so
Ha.
people can get their
written
copies.
in Marathi and then translated into English by a
English,
lady
yeah.
by name of Ramani, I think.
Yeah, something, Raman, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
So right, yeah.
yeah.
So, give us, please, a
Adi.
sense of what a seminar with Shri Mataji was like.
So,
Any seminar that both of you
Avdut,
attended
you
together.
talk about it, and I can share some of the ones which I attended.
Because no seminars at that time, Sri Mata used to come, she used to talk in the evening. We had this 73, 74. It was normally a 3 day seminar. And like when I met Manish for the first time, it was from 9th to 16th of February 1979 in Delhi, 10 Ashoka Road. That was also, you can say, a seminar. Used to have Havan pujas and daytime and evening program, public program. So it was something like that. And at that time, I learned quite a lot. And I mean, when we were very small, I don't know, maybe very early age, I remember Bodhi seminars in the evening. We used to, I had shown some photos. I used to sit in front, I feeling so sleepy, and then I used to ask Shri Mataji, can you go and sleep? She said, yes, go and sleep. So I used to go and sleep and all that, you see. So it was like that, and but it was quite joyful, and we never thought that Shri Mataji taught us things, and she really taught us quite a number of things. Of course, her talks and all, we used to tape. Yes. It was like that, more like that.
Right. I mean, I'd say similar thing. My first um, seminar that I attended was in Lonavala. Uncle
82.
Modi was still the leader of Mumbai at that time,
Mm, mm.
and that was the first time. And I don't know if Avdut you were there, but
I
there were
just recently got one video in which I was talking. I was much, I was sort of more blunt. Yes.
yeah, and so there were three of us. All three came from the Sikh
Yeah.
religion, and
You,
so
yes.
Uncle Modi said, "Why don't you offer something?" And we offered this ardaas, which was written by
Really?
Guru Granth Sahib, and the vibrations, I remember they just went like that. It was like, and everybody was like, "What is this?" And then we said, "This is the ardaas which is said in the gurdwaras." And that's the first time I experienced the grandeur of that ardaas. Tum Thakur, tum pe ardaas, Jeev pind sab tumra ras. So that was then. And then after that, Ganapatiphule, I think right from the inception of Ganapatiphule, which was, I think it was
December 85.
80, 85, right?
December.
Right till 1990, I went every year. And like I said, it used to start around 22nd, 23rd, and then go right almost till New Year's. And so, Shimaji wasn't, during the day, she was meeting people. Of course, we had a lot of Westerners there, and Gregoire, I remember, we'll have 6 o'clock meditation in the morning when music program finished at 3 in the morning. So, and we'll have it at the beach right below MTDC where Shimaji was living. So, some people would show up, but I don't know how many would show up. But Shimaji wouldn't come for that. In the morning time, people be coming to see her, this, that, etc. Evening, she would always be there,
Mm,
and it wasn't necessarily that she gave a talk. Sometimes she did,
mm,
sometimes she did
mm.
not.
Yeah.
But there would be musicians, and she would work on us while the music was going on. And
Mm,
one rule which was there, that when the musician was playing, nobody moved.
mm,
Nobody moved. You stayed where you were
mm,
because Shimaji did not like it when
mm,
you moved. So that was a discipline that she taught us. And I would say even with small children, the small children did not move. I
mm,
mean, I had my eldest son with me. He was, I think, 2.5, 3 once, and I brought him myself, and he used to sit. So the children learned how to sit. That was another thing. And you probably heard Shrimaji, sometimes people say brain trust, and she said, okay, in Sahaja Yoga, what is this brain trust? So again, the focus was from her being there was on our kundalinis, from opening our sahasraras and to increase the intensity of the vibrations that we were feeling. That was really the whole focus of it. And also that camaraderie as a collective, that love, that interaction, all that. But it wasn't on gossip. It wasn't that, but it was just going to that point. Of course, she created it, but then I think at this point of time, it is for Sahaja Yogis to create that environment. And the only way to convey to get to that point is, I would say, what Avdhut talked about, going to the vibrations, going to the Sahasrara, going to our Kundalini, because that will generate this energy and we become a channel for it. It will change not only us, the collective of Sahaja Yoga, but it'll change the whole world. It will change. For the first time, we'll be giving back to Mother Earth. So even, for example, we're seeing these crazy swings with the environment, with the temperatures and all the rest of it. If that peace comes, it will change that also. Even the Trumps and the Netanyahus and all of them, they'll also calm down.
Just 1 minute. I got the book. I will just show you if you permit me. The book of Phadke, which I was talking about.
Yes, please.
Uh, 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 where is it? Yeah, here it is.
So Shmita, I got all my copies on Amazon. I'll send you the link just now.
Do you see that? No.
Yes, yes,
You can see the book.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Oh, this is the book which is also on Divine Cool Breeze books. Okay.
Ah,
Oh, it
This
great.
is
is?
just the cover. This is just the cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
So unfortunately, I have to leave.
Yeah, me too. I need to sleep.
Yes, yes,
thank thank you so much for joining us, for taking out your
yes.
time. And it really is very special to hear about these absolutely unparalleled and precious, phenomenal times you had with Shri Adishakti Shri Mataji herself. Thank you so much for so generously sharing with all of us. And thank you, Shri Mataji, again and again for everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jai Shri
Jai Shri
Mataji. It's our
Mataji.
pleasure.
Yeah, Shivaji. You can see this one is also like,
Yes.
Daddy, time to go to bed.
Oh, Bhim, good night. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Mataji.
All right.